Toby was bored. Super bored. He had already played with all his toys, read all his books, and even tried to build a fort out of pillows, but nothing seemed to capture his interest. It was summer vacation, and there was absolutely nothing to do. The playground was empty, and his friends were all away on trips. The days seemed to stretch endlessly, each one more monotonous than the last. Suddenly, Toby saw something out the window. His eyes widened in surprise as he noticed a strange sight in his backyard. It was a small, swirling hole at the base of an old oak tree in his backyard. The tree had always been there, but this hole was new, and it seemed to be calling to him. This wasn't just any hole. It was different, almost magical. The edges of the hole seemed to shimmer and shift, as if it were alive. This hole was pulsing with color. Reds, blues, greens and yellows swirled together in a mesmerizing dance. It was unlike anything Toby had ever seen before. Toby, curious, went outside to investigate. He felt a strange pull, as if the hole were beckoning him closer. His heart pounded with a mix of excitement and fear. As he got closer, he heard something whisper from the hole, "Sprunki, Sprunki." The sound was faint, almost like a distant echo, but it was unmistakable. It sounded like an invitation, a mysterious, colorful invitation. The colors seemed to pulse in time with the whispers, creating a hypnotic effect. Toby hesitated. Should he? The hole was both fascinating and terrifying. He knew that stepping into it could change everything, but he couldn't resist the allure. He took a deep breath and jumped. The moment his feet left the ground, he felt a rush of wind and a sense of weightlessness. The world dissolved into a kaleidoscope of colors as Toby tumbled down, down, down into the unknown. The colors swirled around him, creating patterns and shapes that seemed to dance in the air. He felt like he was floating through a dream, unsure of where he would land or what awaited him on the other side. Toby landed with a soft thud on bright green grass, but the colors around him didn't fade. He was in a world unlike anything he'd ever seen. Giant lollipops sprouted from the ground. Fluffy sheep with rainbow wool grazed peacefully. In the distance, Toby saw a city that shimmered like a soap bubble. Everything in this strange and wonderful place seemed to sparkle and shine. Toby realized he hadn't hit his head. This wasn't a dream. He was in Sprunki. "Welcome." A squeaky voice startled him. Toby spun around to find a talking mushroom. "Don't be alarmed," the mushroom chuckled, its cap bouncing. "I'm Flummox, your guide to Sprunki." Flummox was no ordinary mushroom. He had tiny spectacles perched on his nose and a mischievous twinkle in his eyes. "Sprunki is a world powered by imagination," explained Flummox. "But beware, not everything here is fun and games. There's a darkness that threatens Sprunki. A shadow that wants to steal our joy." Toby frowned. This sounded serious. He didn't want this amazing, colorful world to be consumed by darkness. "Don't worry," Flummox assured him. "Together, we'll face any challenge." Flummox led Toby towards the shimmering city. As they got closer, Toby realized the buildings were made of gingerbread, candy, and even giant stacks of books. "This is the city of whimsy," announced Flummox, "where dreams are built and stories come to life." The city was bustling with activity. Gingerbread men hurried along, books flew through the air like paper airplanes, and children with butterfly wings giggled as they chased after giant bouncing bubbles. Toby had never seen anything like it. This place was even more amazing than he had imagined. Section 5. The Giggle Glade. Toby and Flummox ventured beyond the city of whimsy, deeper into Sprunki. They arrived at a meadow filled with flowers that sang and trees that told jokes. "This is the Giggle Glade," Flummox explained, "where laughter blooms like wildflowers." Toby couldn't help but laugh along with the flowers and the trees. He felt lighter than he had ever felt before, but as Toby laughed, he noticed something strange. A shadow was creeping across the meadow, silencing the flowers and stealing the jokes from the trees. Section 6. The Shadow of Mount Grump. Flummox gasped. "The Grumpkins!" he cried. "They're creatures of gloom and despair. They feed on joy, turning everything dreary and dull." Looking towards the edge of the meadow, Toby saw them. Dark, shadowy figures with glowing red eyes were slinking down from a mountain that loomed in the distance. "That's Mount Grump," Flummox whispered, "where the Grumpkins dwell. If they reach the city of whimsy, Sprunki will lose its joy forever." Toby knew he had to do something. He couldn't let these grumpkins destroy this wonderful, magical world. Section 7. Facing the Grumpkins. Toby and Flummox raced towards the city of Whimsy, desperate to warn everyone, but the Grumpkins were fast and they were getting closer. Flummox looked worried. "We have to stop them," he said. But how? Toby thought hard. What could possibly stop these creatures of gloom? Then he remembered the Giggle Glade. He remembered how his laughter had filled the meadow, how it had chased away the shadows. "I have an idea," Toby exclaimed, "but I need your help." Section 8. The Power of Laughter. Toby and Flummox rallied the citizens of Whimsy. They knew that the only way to combat the looming threat of the Grumpkins was to unite the village in a common cause. They told them about the Grumpkins and the danger they posed. The Grumpkins were creatures of gloom, thriving on sadness and despair. "We need to fight them with laughter," Toby declared. His voice was filled with determination and hope, a beacon of light in the face of darkness. They can't stand joy and happiness. The villagers looked at each other, a spark of understanding and resolve igniting in their eyes. "Let's show them what we're made of." Toby's words resonated deeply, and the villagers began to prepare for their unique battle. The citizens of Whimsy, inspired by Toby's courage, joined forces. They sang silly songs, told ridiculous jokes, and shared stories that brought tears of laughter to their eyes, and danced with joyous abandon. The village square was filled with the sound of laughter and music, a symphony of happiness that echoed through the streets. The power of their combined laughter created a wave of pure joy that washed over the Grumpkins. It was a force so strong, so pure, that it could not be resisted. The creatures shrieked and recoiled, unable to withstand the overwhelming positivity. Their dark, shadowy forms began to waver and fade, their shadowy forms dissolving in the face of so much happiness. The village of Whimsy had triumphed, proving that laughter and joy were the most powerful weapons of all. Section 9. The long journey home. With the Grumpkins vanquished, the city of Whimsy was safe. Sprunki was safe. The once dark and gloomy streets were now filled with laughter and joy. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the sky was a brilliant shade of blue. The citizens of Sprunki danced and sang, their hearts light and free from fear. It was a sight to behold, a true testament to the power of courage and friendship. Color and light returned to the land, more vibrant than ever before. The trees seemed greener, the flowers more fragrant, and the rivers sparkled like diamonds. It was as if the very soul of Sprunki had been rejuvenated, breathing new life into every corner of the land. The sun rose over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the meadows, and the birds sang a melody of hope and renewal. Exhausted but happy, Toby knew it was time to return home. He had faced many challenges and had grown stronger with each one. As he sat by the campfire, the warmth of the flames reminded him of the love and support he had received from his friends. He thought about the lessons he had learned and the memories he had made. It was a journey he would never forget, one that had changed him forever. He hugged Flummox goodbye, thanking him for the incredible adventure. Flummox smiled, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You have done well, Toby," he said. "You have shown great bravery and kindness. Remember, the magic of Sprunki will always be with you." Toby felt a lump in his throat as he hugged his friend one last time. It was hard to say goodbye, but he knew it was not the end. Their bond would remain strong, no matter the distance. "Remember, Toby," he said, "the world is full of wonder and magic, even in the most ordinary places. You just have to open your heart and mind to see it." The mentor's words echoed in Toby's mind as he prepared to leave. He realized that the adventure had not only been about defeating the Grumpkins, but also about discovering the magic within himself. It was a lesson he would carry with him for the rest of his life. You just have to know where to look. Toby nodded, understanding the wisdom in those words. He had seen the magic in Sprunki, but he knew that magic existed everywhere, even in the most mundane places. It was a matter of perspective, of seeing the world with a sense of wonder and curiosity. He promised himself that he would never lose that sense of wonder, no matter where life took him. And with that, Toby stepped back into the swirling hole, the colors of Sprunki swirling around him one last time before depositing him back in his backyard. The transition was seamless, and for a moment he felt as if he was floating between two worlds. The vibrant colors of Sprunki mixed with the familiar sights of his home, creating a beautiful tapestry of memories. As he landed softly on the grass, he took a deep breath, feeling a sense of peace and fulfillment. The hole disappeared, leaving Toby with nothing but the memory of his extraordinary adventure and a newfound appreciation for the power of laughter and imagination. He looked around his backyard, seeing it with new eyes. The trees, the flowers, even the sky seemed different, more magical. He knew that the adventure had changed him, had opened his eyes to the beauty and wonder of the world. He smiled, feeling a sense of gratitude for the journey he had undertaken. He knew deep down that a part of him would always remain in Sprunki. The memories of his friends, the lessons he had learned, and the magic he had experienced would stay with him forever. As he looked up at the sky, he felt a connection to the world around him, a sense of belonging. He knew that no matter where life took him, he would always carry the spirit of Sprunki in his heart. And with that thought, he turned and walked back into his house, ready for whatever adventures lay ahead.